Hi, I'm Laura, and this is my channel where I talk about work, life, and everything in between. Today, we have a special guest, Yan, here to talk about the impact of AI on credit risk modeling. Yan currently serves as the Senior Director on the Credit Risk Analytics team at the Royal Bank of Canada, one of North America's largest financial institutions. In this role, he leads strategic analytics and modeling efforts that help shape how credit risk decisions are made across complex portfolios. Yan, welcome back to my channel. Let's start with the elephant in the room. Everyone is asking if AI will replace roles like data analysts, data scientists, and in our case, credit risk modelers. You say they're asking the wrong question. What should they be asking?
Well, I think AI is like many tools that we've used before, like Excel or programming language, even a internet computer. It's helping us to do our job better. So it's going to be our assistant, our co-pilot. It's not replacing us. How we're using them effectively to help make our job easier, better, that we need to actually work on. I also want to make a statement generally about the state of AI. Whatever we're going to talk about today is what we learned so far in the year of 2024 and 5 since GPT come out. It changed so fast in the last 6 months that I think we are advancing to a different stage. So whatever you're going to hear today with us, it will change again in 3 months' time. So don't think that this is the final statement. I think the mindset is be open-minded to learn what is happening in the AI space.
Yes, AI moves really fast and it has a lot of potential to make the model development process more efficient. I want to level set on what credit risk modeling actually involves because it's more than just building a model. At a high level, credit risk modeling usually includes understanding the business problem, data and feature development, model development and methodology, governance and documentation, and ongoing monitoring and maintenance. Model building is only one part of the overall life cycle, and we know it's often not the most time-consuming part. Given all of these different components, which areas do you think generative AI is likely to impact the most?
It will impact the most the somewhat mechanical portion of the work, right? The actual coding that we need to write now, AI write it much faster than a human. The documentation part, that writing a 50 pages document used to take human. Now AI can do it much faster. So those two aspects of writing the code, writing the documentation can be expedited by AI a lot. What I think is there's still a lot of pieces that we will talk about that AI will not be completely autonomous. It still need a human to help as a co-pilot.
Thanks, Yan. Then let's dive a little bit deeper. Where are you seeing AI make a real difference on your team right now? Can you share some examples?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like we're building model, I'm sure in a different cycle, every 6 months a new model. While we actually need to make a business case why this model is useful, the actual technical work of getting the data ready, like I said, writing the model training code with different variation of the models, whether we use model A, model B, model C, used to be our hand coding to do it in probably in a month, cycle. Now with AI, I can ask the AI to say, okay, look at this data, look at this objective function, whether it's predicting default or predicting profitability. Go out and build me 5 different models so I can look at the pros and cons, the performance metrics. That can be done now by the AI. Human is the supervisor, so it's far more efficient. And I mentioned about documentation. Once again, most of us do not like to sit down and write a 60 pages documentation. Now AI can do most of it. We still need to review, we still need to supervise, what are the better way to communicate with the senior executive or other domain specialists. So humans still have a lot of role, but most of the work that takes us time can now be streamlined by the AI, so we can reinvest the time, this is important. We not just save the time and sit here and watch YouTube all day long, right? That's not our plan. Our plan is we deploy this time to things that we always want to do. We don't have time to do it. Like think about the business implication. Talk to the business stakeholders whether this actually help them to run their business. All this planning, all this more closer to the action We didn't have time to do it before because we spent so much time on coding, doing analytics, writing documentation. Now I can use the time to actually understand the business use case.
Right. It's great to see that AI is already helping model developers with the less fun tasks. I think you alluded to it. Let's talk more about what's not going away. Which parts of credit risk are AI proof?
Well, I am very bullish. I wish at one point nothing is AI proof. So I need to find another job that could be a state in the future. But the human judgment, as I mentioned about why we're building this stuff, right? At the end of the day, we're running a business. We're not building model for fun. So these artifacts, whether it's called model analytics, is used for a business motivation, trying to make money, try to reduce a loss. That understanding, that human judgment, that portion sometimes vaguely called taste. What is a good taste to apply analytics and sometimes maybe overdoing in other area. That's where I think the human, they still have advantage. It's not going away. The other thing is after the fact, after we finish the model, yes, is there. There's a white paper written 60 pages. Most people do not have time to read it. So it's still up to the human to communicate in the right language, the right tone with the right stakeholders, potentially our senior executive, also regulator, or people that are less technical than us. How do we convey this message, this analytics, while it's complicated, done with us and AI? It is serving the purpose. It's actually generating good value proposition for the organization. That communication skill, at this point, I don't think I will outsource to AI. Okay, speak to my AI and tell, explain the use case to the stakeholders. It will still be human doing that part. So that communication portion, I'll retain it for now.
Mm-hmm. Good to know that the job is not completely going away yet. Now, if someone's watching this early in their career, how should they think about where this role is heading? Is it still worth pursuing a career in credit risk modeling?
Well, that's a huge question. I'm sure we have many conversations like that with our friends and family when they have younger, adults going to college. What will be their choice of majors and what will be their career planning? Whether they are first year out after school or they have done this for the last couple of years. I think the AI is still our assistant. They will listen to our instruction. They will understand our context better than most of the human. But what is the foundational knowledge, the first principle thinking about why credit risk is a thing, why we need to actually understand the meaning of potential default, right? Why the people will actually choose not to pay us back the money. Those foundational knowledge, you can use the technical term called PD, is still something that I would advise, all the interest parties, the student of the world, think about it. This is not going away. This is not completely replaced by the AI. You need to understand that first principle before you actually engage the AI to help you to do the actual groundwork of analytics. So that foundation should not go away. The other thing that I think I alluded to earlier on communication, I hope again we still have the advantage to convey the message in the right tone with the appropriate partners, whether it's again executive or business stakeholders or regulators. That will still be us. We need to communicate properly. So learn or improve your communication, practice it. Trying to explain this difficult concept to your peers, to your again, work partners in an effective way, just like what we're trying to do, right? We're explaining some difficult concept here for the audience. So I think that skill will not go away. The last thing that I think is, again, somewhat abstract, and I think I mentioned it already, how to develop good taste. We have finite time, even with the AI, we can't solve, all problem on the plate. We have to choose the right problem. What is right? What will create the highest return on investment? So picking the right problem to solve while outsource some of the less critical problem to the AI, use our human advantage to the maximum impact problem. That taste is important to develop early on when you're actually starting your career.
Thanks, Yan. Then if I had to summarize what we talked about today, it's that AI doesn't completely replace credit risk professionals. It changes where the value is. The work shifts away from manual execution toward problem framing, judgment and accountability, explaining and defending decisions, and knowing when and how to use AI responsibly. So for anyone watching who's early in their career or maybe feeling a bit anxious about where things are headed, the message is to learn the fundamentals deeply, build the right judgment, and use AI to amplify that, not substitute for it. Yan, thank you so much for sharing your experience and perspective. Would you like to share some closing comments with our viewers?
Yes, because we've been trying to learn and pick up these tools in the last year or two. I think a bit of reflection I should have. It's intimidating, right? At the beginning, it could be fun too. The first time, I'm sure when you work with the ChatGPT, it's fun. They actually can talk back, create a joke, write a little program so that it seems to be, I think, amazing. But then you will find out the first hurdle that they sometimes make up stuff. Hallucination is a technical term. And then now people have improved the model and also improved the way to instruct the model by providing some guardrail and context. And now I think late last year, the agentic, theme is coming along that you don't need to prompt them. Just tell them what you want. They will go out and solve the problem step by step. They can run it on its own for multiple hours without us being their partner. So that's another theme that I think is emerging. The learning I have is don't think this is the final state. As I mentioned at the beginning, whatever we said today will be changed again. It will be outdated again in 3 months' time. This may be the first time I feel like I need to constantly learning new stuff, not just to keep the job. That's maybe a good incentive, but actually get excited about the future of understanding things, learning things, making your life better. People use AI not just for work, for life. So that mindset of this is creating a learning opportunity before we need to go to school for 20 years and pay a lot of money. Now it's there with you every day with probably some small subscription fee that you can learn new stuff every day. So having that open mindset to keep at it, whether it's for credit risk modeling or for your other adventure, content creation, like what we try to do here, I think is amazing opportunity for a lot of people because used to be you need to pay a lot of money for people to teach you this stuff. Now it's right there. So I encourage people to keep an open mind, stay with curiosity, learn new stuff with AI.
Thanks, Yan. And to our viewers, we want to hear from you. How are you using AI in your day-to-day work? Drop a comment below. If you want more practical conversations like this around credit risk, analytics, and navigating work and life, don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.